a second.
Vaya, mi gente, muy buenas noches. Mi nombre es Mario José Paga Morales. It's been too long. Honestamente, le puedo decir que el día completo he estado súper ansioso de poder venir y estar con ustedes. It's so nice to see all the beautiful faces. Always thank you for your support. No solamente estar con amigos, pero con familia. So with that, before we jump into the open mic, we just wanted to set a couple of house rules. Um, First and foremost, we try our best to provide a safe space. So con eso digo que I can't emphasize to please respect each other, respect the space. And if you have a poem that you feel might be triggering, just make a small announcement. Give us the opportunity to maybe silence or mute so that, you know, it doesn't affect us. Um, I don't think I have to say this in this group, but we don't tolerate any type of hate speech. So if you find yourself outside the room wondering why you got disconnected, ya tú sabes. And as we were mentioning prior to the conversation, to going live, por el tamaño del grupo, I think it's fair, and if Profe Isa wants to chime in, 2 poems each. Try to keep them, pretty, with about 3 minutes, 4 minutes each, so that everyone can get an opportunity to read. If you're interested in signing in and you just came into the group, we'll keep repeating it. The link is in the chat. You could go ahead and sign up, and we'll start calling you guys' name. Así que otra cosa, if you like what you hear, put it in the chat. If you're working on a project or you want to promote an event coming up, ponlo en el chat. Vamos a hablar, vamos a comunicarnos. Sé que uno de ustedes are working on your books. Some books are coming out soon. Put the information in the chat. Let us support you. Tell us where we could find you. So those are house rules. I would also like to take the opportunity to acknowledge the Acentos Review, who I think will be celebrating 16 years of serving our community. Tonight we have Reina Leon with us, the editor of Acentos, and also Rich Ruyal, a founding member. And we're going to hear from them a little later on in the evening about activities that might be coming up with Acentos. Personally, to the Acentos Review, I say gracias for collaborating with us tonight on the virtual open mic, for providing a comunidad, for providing a space for us to share our work. If you have never, I think a couple of us here have been have submitted work that have been published with Acentos. If you haven't, you can go ahead and check out what they're doing. Ver qué actividades are happening. You go to the Acentos Review. I think it's acentosreview.com if I'm not mistaken. And submit your work. This is a community made for us, by us. Some of us grew up there. I didn't have the opportunity, but a lot of our mentors in the community were part of it. So take an opportunity and go check them out. Con eso, I would like to open with a poem, which I think is well, I'll let the poem speak for itself. It's called "If I Must Die" by Refat Al-Khair. If I must die, tú tienes que vivir. To tell my story, para vender mis cosas. To buy a piece of cloth y algunas cuerdas, make it white with a long tail. Para que un niño en algún lugar de Gaza, while looking heaven in the eye, esperando a su padre que se fue en llamas and bid no one farewell, ni siquiera a su carne, not even to himself. Ver cometa, mi cometa que tú hiciste. Fly arriba and think for un momento that an angel is there trayendo de vuelta el amor. If I must die. Deja que traiga esperanza. Let it be the tale. from river to the sea, Palestine will be free. So, con eso, our first poet to the mic, I am not going in any order, is my consigliere, Rich Villa.
Bro, I was so not ready. Damn, hold on a second. Oh shit. Wait. Caramba. Hi everybody. I got caught by surprise. Hang on, hang on, hang on. I thought I was gonna go much later when the acento stuff was gonna get talked about, pero give me one segundo. Bueno, you know, I am I've been on a sort of a tear writing lately. I can't say that I'm writing nearly as much as I would like to be. But I have this, you know, I have this amazing job. I work for the prison education program at NYU, and you know, it takes up a lot of my time. It takes up a lot of my emotional sort of emotional space, and it's just quite a bit of it's quite a bit of space that it takes up mentally. So I usually end up writing on the train nowadays. I've always had that as a writer, as a poet, you know, just sort of like uh, enjoying the idea of motion and being in motion and letting that sort of drive forward what I do as a poet. So with that in mind, I think what I'm going to do is share a poem that I wrote literally on the 6 train, because why not, right? So this poem is called On the 6 Train Home. Can everybody hear me okay? Just making sure. Okay, cool, excellent. Holy shit, I see you, Chop Boogie. Shit. Oh, wow, we gotta talk. All right, sorry, my bad. Yeah. On the 6 train home. I'm thinking now of the octave dropped when you said no ordinary bird. That night, I first made you chuletas, made you nervous. Midnight was peach wine at the green window, romancing terracotta angels. I drank that shit for weeks like it was habit. I've been the first to arrive at the tree line where the oxygen is thin and I climb anyway, where I serve and forget the Sankofa bird on my ring finger. You make me nervous, not because I don't like the view from the 11th floor, but because the vibration you eased onto my lips felt like blue in green, like fog, like a smooth stone plucked from a black river, waiting for its altar of wildflowers. Damn, that must have been some train ride, I can hear you saying. True enough. This bench on this Castle Hill platform got me frozen, but now I have to finish telling you the things I couldn't say the night I wouldn't come up for air. I'm here every night, walking up Unionport, thinking of the first time I loved this borough with ancestral memory. You were there. You kissed me first. It was as if you gave me license to let fly the ordinary in order for me to be this Sankofa bird hovering on the corner. Your crown, your voice an octave below anything I expected. You, 11 floors above a world that no longer serves. Sweet love, the rain is cold. The evening drops reflections into asphalt. I can't tell just now which horizon holds reality, blue and yellow light reaching down through stone ocean or glass and red brick slipping between gray mists, homes in the sky. The storm you brought to my doorstep is creation. I am in love with the rain these days. From this window, I can see you coming. I am home in the air. No ordinary bird, I'll fly to you. Thank you.
Maestro, what was that line? The raindrops, what? The
Oh,
raindrops.
Bro, you asking me all the questions right now. I'm literally like, I'm all over the place. I
It
read
was
what I
amazing.
read.
It was
Y'all
amazing.
gonna have to just take what it was. I don't know what to tell
Gotcha.
you.
I'll take that in its entirety. That was amazing. Thank you.
It was amazing. Thank you, Profe. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. Our next poet to the mic, apareció looking completely different than we've seen her last time. She has a book coming out. Susana Pravel.
Gracias, Mario. Actually, it is here. And I don't know if you all know Tania Torres. She's there in New York. She painted this cover, this beautiful painting just for my book. I am just in love with this painting. So I'm going to read from it. I'm going to start out with a poem I know some of you have heard before, but I can't resist considering who's in the house. And this poem is called Títeres in the House. And it's dedicated for Ponce, Profe, D-Bird, Isa, and Red. And this has to do with the day we spent together in San Juan, in Santurce. So, así va. My house is filled with poets. New York in their rear view mirror as they search for homes of their juventud and a sacred secret that sleeps in la selva. They roll up in sandals and fedoras on a pit stop to forever. Unfurl tattoos that read like road maps. Drum black nails on a table, quietly turn tambor. They speak names of towns that etch lifelines in their palms. Juncos, Fajardo, Guayanilla, Santurce, invoked like oraciones with a Nuyorican spin. We cruise on foot, past graffiti-covered buildings, the patios and gardens of La Goico, Casa Laurel in La Calle Luisa, lampposts that lean and point towards the sea. Everything seeds verse. Turtles' sandy nests, the last sandwich in Supermax, mi sancocho. Coquis sing as evening lands. We overfill a van with our voices, head for San Juan, wander cobblestone streets, stumble on metaphors in la Plaza de Armas, where una dama hawks billetes de la lotería, un señor sells limbers de parcha y cherry. Poet's passage turns magnet on Tuesday nights, pulling bards into its bohemian womb. Red velvet walls and filigreed light bathe us in a muse's brew. Lady Lee midwife's poems from neighborhood and nomadic mouths. A cicada flutters from a shy girl's lips. A man with a lion's mane roars. Sabrina flirts into the mic, and we all fall in love. With words, with la gente, with la vida in sí. We take turns spitting poems in the spotlight, lay our books on Lady Lee's shelves. The night is electric. Alchemy of rhythms as primal as heartbeats and star glow glistening on our skin. We ramble late night streets, our reflections dancing on plate glass windows, memories rising, an aroma of ocean as shopkeepers sweep sidewalks and clock hands point us home. And I just wanted to call out a couple of lines from that because this was a really pivotal poem. In my book, I use a lot of epigraphs, epigraphs from Mario and Rich and Isa. And it was so much fun doing this melding of words. And so Turtle Sandy Nest refers to a poem that Isa wrote that ended up being like the epigraph to start the book. The last sandwich in Supermax's Rich's line. We were starving and everything was closed, and he found the last sandwich in Supermax. And mi sancocho is what we ate when everyone arrived. But anyway, it was. I just wanted to call out the writers on that. And for the second piece, I think I will. Which one am I going to do? I'm going to try something. I've never read this poem. This poem, it's a conversation. I don't know if you can see, it's a conversation between my son and I, and it works. We'll see if it works orally because it's a very visual poem. It's called Tattoo in Two Voices. My son just told me he's got a tattoo. I've been waiting for the other shoe to drop for a decade since a 2 a.m. long distance call. Mom, where was Papi's J? ¿Por qué? Are you planning to get a tattoo? Nah, just asking. Been meaning to ask for years. His left calf, mijo. He liked things with his initials. A golden J, pendant, un cuaderno de cuero, white cotton pañuelos. Where exactly? On the widest part of his batata. He did it about your age, a teen with ink and pin, hid it with stray pen marks on his skin. Imagine the drama when Abuela found out. How big? Capital or na? Blue or faded black? Blue, mayúscula, a thumbnail tall. Ay, you got me thinking about your papi, mijo. How he loved to make things, bookshelves and tables, sandbox and bed. Do you remember the playhouse he built you by the camellia? I forgot till just now. I thought I just liked climbing the tree. And how he liked to clown around. Do you remember balancing on his shoulders while he rode a bike up and down Titiguiez Street in Aguadilla? You were maybe 5. Do you remember? Ma, you're always asking if I remember. My son just told me he got a tattoo, done with blue ink and a pin, a J on his left patata, his very own mancha de plátano. Gracias.
You know, I think one of the amazing things that the pandemic allowed us to do was to jump on Zoom, right? We created these spaces where, at first it was like it was the community, right? The East Coast, and we were like, hey, I get to be advocate, I get to spend time with the títeres, I get to spend time with people within the community, and then amigos, hermanas, hermanes started popping into La Esquina, and we were blown away. We got to meet Susana, we got to meet Josiah Luis Alderete, we got to meet Tony Dorondo, we got to meet el hermano de nosotros, Luis, que vive in Mexico, and we got to connect with so many different people, and Susana just happens to be one of my favorite people on the face of the earth, and not only did we get to meet her on Zoom, but her papi lives in New York, and we got to meet in person. And then on top of that, we get to meet on the homeland and share bread with her in her space. And thank you for that poem. I'm always moved by that poem. Gracias, mi hermana. Okay, so next poet to the mic. I can't say enough about this young lady, so I'm just gonna bring her onto the mic. Next poet to the mic is ire'ne.
Hello, everyone. Hello. My name is Iris Agustina Morales, known as I Am. I'm very happy to be here with everyone. Everyone looks absolutely beautiful tonight. I'm digging the haircut, Susana. So let's get to it. Her name was Reina. We were 6 years old. We played with Barbie in a room I shared with my parents. She lived across the hall, frequently paid me a visit. We played mommy and daddy, nothing in that order. Our imagination soared through the plastic window frames of her Barbie house. She pretended to be cooking. I arrived home from work holding a dozen of red roses. Honey, I'm home. She spun around with 3 open windows where her teeth used to be, wrapped her arms around my neck, planting a goldfish peck on my lips. We created our bedroom walls with Scotch tissue still wrapped in plastic, a perfect foundation. We held hands, small fingers like baby vines sprouting for the first time. We shared strawberry Nesquik kisses in the darkness. Innocence. I didn't realize my mother's voice calling my name. A shattering vase yanked me from underneath my bed. My mother, a homewrecker. Rena's eyes puzzled, don't know what to do. My wails echoed through our Barbie house, the bricks of Scotch tissue, pulverized, our home gone. I never saw Reina again. She wasn't allowed back in, even though we were just playing pretend at 6 years old. You quickly understood that not all love is accepted, especially pure and innocent love. My Barbie and Ken lay to rest underneath my bed, collecting dust. Years later, we saw each other again, her face the same. She looked as if trying to remember a memory. I wondered if I handed her a pack of Scotch tissue, if she would have remembered. At 8'6", we built a safe place underneath my bed, where love, innocence, still waits. Thank you. And I have a second poem called My Three Mothers. Oshun said, do not gift your existence to half-ass experiences. Basta con la lágrima. Impoverished love and promises should not feel the privilege. You are bountiful. Don't serve your golden body to the ungrateful. Fret not, trust in me. Smear honey on your tongue, taste my power. Let sunflower cascade through your mouth. Manifest tus desires. Yemaya dijo, hija, dance with me. Don't mind your shoes, get wet. Y si te miran as if you're loca, dile, you ain't seen nothing yet. I told you, I got you. So hand me a mason jar filled with your sorrows. I swallow that shit like a sinking barco. Give yourself to me. I will mold gills for you to breathe. To those who've hurt you, have no idea what they got themselves into. My memory lurks in the darkest regions. Amita, your tears, I'll use to drown them. Daughter, listen, the wind speaks. Oya proclaims. Can you feel the flutter of butterflies in your belly? Iron wings bursting out, shredding everything unholy? Do you know the advantage of being small? No one suspects you're coming. When mommy said prayer will kill the gay away, I told her I tucked myself in your grave and found God in pain. I summoned myself back from the dead. Lazarus has nothing on me. Thank you.
Iris, I'm so proud. I'll leave it there. Iris is very special to me. That's all I'm gonna say. Tanta línea. I think me and Reina, Doctora Reina, were going back and forth, quoting the same things, right? You know, the advantage of being small, and I finished it. No one sees you coming. ¿Qué más? The wind speaks, right? And then Lazarus has nothing on me. It's like one of my favorite lines in that poem. Tengo el placer y el privilegio of seeing a lot of her work before she reads it. So yeah, very proud of
I
you,
know it's
sis.
like y'all are related or something. I just don't know. It's like it'd
No,
be,
Morales is one of those names that just like the island, you know, saturated with it. So
of course, absolutely.
te amo, sis. And I miss you. Okay, so just be mindful of the group chat. If you are interested in reading, the list is still up. Isa just put it up. Go ahead and do so. And I'm also reaching out to you guys individually, letting you know that you're up next. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna invite the next poet up, and then I'm gonna give the floor to Rich Rial y la doctora Reina. And then I will be inviting the feature up, if that's okay with you guys. So the next poet to the mic. De nuevo, you know what it is, familia, that you get to build these amazing relationships in comunidad, and eventually friends become hermanos. So the next poet to the mic is very dear to my heart. Hakeem Rebel Poet Coreano, who I like to call Legendario. The microphone is yours, bro.
Gracias, mi hermano. Can y'all hear me? Sí. Perfecto. So it's an honor and a pleasure to be here amongst every one of y'all and everyone in YouTube Landia tuning in. And I would like to pay homage to, in my first poem, to a Palestinian poet, Mahmoud Darwish. And the second piece that I would write, I'm going to just mesh them. The second piece is a piece that I wrote. But yeah, I just wanted to share a fun fact. As per international law, a military occupying power does not have the right to self-defense in the space they are occupying. So yeah, and I'm gonna just get into it. Much love to everyone. Gracias por come through. Much love to y'all, and we're gonna get in it. I have a seat in the abandoned theater in Beirut. I might forget and I might recall the final act without longing, not because of anything other than that the play was not written skillfully. Chaos, as in war, days of those in despair, and an autobiography of the specter's impulse. The actors were tearing up their scripts and scratching for the author among us. We, the witnesses, sitting in our seats. I tell my neighbor, the artist, don't draw your weapon and wait unless you're the author. No, then he asks me, and you, are you the author? No. So we sit scared. I say, be neutral. Hero to escape from an obvious fate. He says, no hero dies revered in the second scene. I will wait for the rest. Maybe I would revise one of the acts, and maybe I would mend what the iron has done to my brothers. So I say, it is you then. He responds, you and I are the two masked authors and two masked witnesses. I say, how is this my concern? I, a specter, he says no. Specters at chasm's door, and no one is neutral here, and you must choose your part in the end. So I say, I'm missing the beginning. What's the beginning? Missile strikes fall from skylight, reverse blessing, raining wrath on unsuspecting human beings, or should I say, constant casualties, more like collateral damage to those defending dehumanizing ideology. Since when does self-defense mean ravage, state-sanctioned salvage? What in the name of Holocaust, ethnic cleanse, war, bullets topple nations? Who profits? Not the poor. Here we go again, says friend. You're too predictable. Every other poem you write is political. Yo, just switch it up. Keep it light, not so critical. Penn says war is constant, written by illiterate narcissist fools. Look at you, Papotillo, product of punitive policy, sugarcane conspiracy, son of a sunny day massacre. The bomb said blood before bread. Does a liberated Palestinian mean a dead one? I mean, how many views is a human life worth these days if we are blind to bodies slaughtered overseas? Do the parts add up to their sum? COINTELPRO said, the Black Messiah uplifting his community is our biggest threat to national security. Yo, reverse eulogy. What is the pyramid scheme? Military complex, cash and checks, then say, what's the issue? Left and right, salute Confederate flag. Mami, me dijo, mi hijo, have faith, this too shall pass. I say, your silence is a weapon for the enemies of history. What do you condone? What do you condone? What of the fire within? Collective storms make the rage shake every nation. Frederick Douglass citation, hypocrisy's eradication. We demand that crimes against God and man be called out and denounced in all poems, all meditations. These words, my truth, your being. Gracias.
Gracias a ti, mi hermano. You know, Rebel's one of these poets that not only talks the talk, but he walks the walk, and I'm very proud of the work that he does in community as well. So thank you for your work, my brother. So, con eso, I'm gonna hand it off to El Profe Rich Villar, who will take it over for the next couple of minutes. Rich, the floor is yours, brother.
Bueno, gracias, mi hermano. It's a pleasure to be with everybody this evening. For the purposes of folks who don't know us and who are maybe listening for the first time to a show like ours, this is a project of a place called La Cocina. And La Cocina, like a lot of movements in poetry, has a sort of an origin story, right? And one, we were looking for some new collaborators and new partners and new things to do. We've been running this reading series called La Esquina for since about 2019-ish, and we were looking for some new spaces, new collaborators, as I said, and we're going to be talking about the return of the live show, right? At the closer to the end of the show, we have an announcement about that, which is very exciting. But part of the collaboration that we kind of fell into was a collaboration with an old friend, to say the absolute least, right? So acentos, what can I say about acentos? We many years ago were a reading series, we were a workshop series, we were just a bunch of Latino poets speaking to each other in Spanglish, which was a little more rare than you might think in New York City. It was a lot of different things, but in well, I want to say it was 2008. It was a long while ago. A bunch of us got together in this place called the Bruckner Bar and Grill, right? And it was, a collection of poets that were in New York at the time, Latinx poets. We didn't even have the term Latinx at the time. But we were all in this spot, and we were thinking about different ways that acentos could kind of reach the world. And one of the ways that that was brought up by Doctora Reina Leon, who is with us today, who is, I'm getting to that age where, you used to think about the elders in your community and say, coño, they've known each other for so long. I've known Reina for 21 years, y'all. Like I'm 46. Like I've known you almost half my life, my dude. It's a little wild. So Reina, Elia Lucero, started this thing called the Acentos Review, because we didn't see a lot of spaces out there for Latino, Latina, indigenous, Latinx voices, right? And we mean that in, writ large, Latin America and the United States, this thing called America, right? Which kind of is a misnomer to begin with, but that's another story. But we wanted to see these voices in one place. And Reina took the bull by the horns, and now 16 years later, this journal is going strong. And I don't know the exact numbers of writers that have been published by Acentos Review. I think Reina will get into that when I introduce her. But I can tell you that I was an editor for a little bit. There are several poets in the community that we know of who have been editors, co-editors, and associate editors, guest editors for this journal. And we have been doing this work for 16 years. I want to say before I do pass it to Rain, I want to say a quick word of of reverence and honor to Elena Minor, who was doing this work alongside us, showed us, blazed the path for us with the journal that she published, which was, again, Latinx Writers. And she passed away not too long ago. And so an ashe to the memory of Elena. And we are honored to walk in her footsteps, and we're honored to serve this community. And I say we because Acentos was its thing, but the Acentos Review took on a life of its own. And it's now celebrating this anniversary. There will be some more things coming in addition to the Acentos Review itself. But one of the things that they did was they agreed to partner with us on our return to the live portion of the show. And they are sponsoring us for that show, and they're sponsoring us tonight. And so ire'ne Lara Silva is one of the authors that is here representing the Acentos Review. We are honored to have her with us as well. And without further ado, I will turn it over to my old friend, mi corazón, Doctora Reina Leon.
Hey y'all, I'm so happy to be with you. You will hear babies in the background. My son is 5 weeks. My oldest is almost 6. My middle is almost 4. So lots of joy and also bedtime, y'all. Bedtime is serious. So I am so happy. For years. The Acentos Bronx Poetry Showcase started in 2003. I moved to New York that same year. And I went to the Lara Arts, Bar 13, and that's how I met Fish Vargas and Oscar de Mayo and Rich Viad. I met them all that first night that I went to this reading, and was invited that first night to come to Acentos in the Bronx and be a part of this community. I read a poem that ended up in my first book, and at the end of the night, I had a feature, which was amazing to have an immediate invitation into this community. And that has always been what Acentos has been from the very beginning of my understanding of it, is so community centered. And that is something within the Acentos Review that I've tried to cultivate all these years. You know, it's almost 16 years, over 1,000 Latinx voices across different genres, hybrid work. We published zines, like incredible work. And I was just doing this talk with poets and writers, and I was like, you know, New Yorker, whatever big journal that you think of, people or whatever journal, folks want to say, oh, you look at the list of folks who are there, and it's the same names over and over, and none of them are our names, or it's very rare. And it's like, oh, we can't find anybody. And I'm like, where are you looking? Because clearly we are there. There are 1,000 of us, over 1,000 of us in these almost 16 years that have been published in the Acentos Review. And, you know, the NEA winners and Guggenheim, like prize recipients, and like, as well as grandmothers and adjudicated youth and first-time authors and
You did poets, a couple of them.
everywhere, like from all aspects of life, folks overseas, folks speaking, like incorporating indigenous languages, German, because we're everywhere. We're in diaspora, right? So the review, I hope, is gets closer to a full representation of the wide diversity of all our Latinx identities, right? And we are magnificent. We are. And so to be able to support that all these many years has been such a delight. And it makes me so happy when I see people like in the real life or for real, like in a moment, like, yes, I see your name. I'm so happy because I remember we published you in 2012, you know. And so to be able to be collaboration now, building up all those many years, and to also be able to have extended the invitation and for ire'ne to like have answered it, who I love and is one of the like badass poets, like she everywhere. And every time I see her, I have such joy and laughter that it like breaks my chest with such excitement and challenge. And I love her work. Now, I tell this story all the time, and ire'ne probably has heard it a gazillion times, that at first I rejected ire'ne Lara Silva. I didn't know. I didn't know. Like, I was stupid. Like I was an editor who was still learning my craft. And I tell this, like ire'ne has shared this story before of like, but it was the nicest rejection letter that I ever got. Because then we were used to be able to do like personal rejections. We were smaller then. Um, and I loved going back to that early work too, because I have like, what was I thinking? And being like, I learned so much from reading her work consistently within the submissions and then publishing and then seeing her work in the world. I have grown. I've grown. So I know I'm supposed to be talking about the review, but I can't not also talk about how amazing some of our authors are, and of course, ire'ne today. So it's my great joy. It's my great joy to be with to be continuing to publish, to be keeping the things going. We published on the 15th, although we were late this year. We were late like 2 weeks, y'all, because I had a baby. and and before that, I was in the hospital. So like we were late twice this year, but I'm not gonna shame myself about it.
I think we're gonna be all right. I think
We're gonna be all right. It was still in the same month. It's all right. But for 15 years, we never missed an issue except for once. But I'm very happy to have like been
I
able
may
to
have
be.
missed the deadline or two as an editor. I'm not gonna lie, because 88.
Yeah, but you were never late because I made sure we were never late because we that trust is important. That trust is important because we send our work a lot of places, and people don't give us that respect in their spaces. So to have that in community. Anyway, I'll see the way. It's a delight to be with you.
Bueno, yeah, that pretty much says it all. that is the ethos that we're bringing forward into this project with La Cocina and La Esquina. So I'm really glad to be able to just contextualize all that stuff. I'm really honored to be a part of this community, to be a part of the Acentos community. Like I said, I've been doing poems for 20 years. I've known Reina for so long. And I just want to thank all of you for coming. And I want to thank Reina for being my homie and being gracious and graceful. I mean, listen, let me tell you something. Reina Leon got the fullest calendar out of all of you. I guarantee you. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what you do. Reina Leon's calendar is fuller than all of y'all. And she makes it happen in such a graceful way and such a way that just invites so many people in. I want to be Reina when I grow up. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to my brother, someone who is doing an amazing job of hosting and being our light in the darkness, as it were, our cacique, Mario Jose Pagan Morales.
I'm gonna be extremely transparent. I've been having conversations with both Profe and Isa all day about my anxiety. But that has not stopped me from feeling super excited about tonight. And I feel extremely comfortable being around family. I think it's the first, getting on jitters, but then it just becomes like we're en la cocina. Right? So con eso, I want to invite our feature, and her bio reads as follows. Ire'ne Lara Silva is the 2023 Texas State Poet Laureate. Is the author of 5 poetry collections, Furia.
The
Blood
whole
Sugar-
state of Texas.
The whole state of Texas.
That's a big ass state.
Is the author of 5 poetry collections, Furia, Blood Sugar Canto, Cuica Cali, House of Song, First Poems, and The Eaters of Flowers. 2 chapbooks, Enduring Azucares and Hibiscus Tacos, and a short story collection, Flesh to Bone, which won the Premio Aztlán. Ire'ne is a recipient of the 2021 Tasajillo Writer Grant, a 2017 NALAC Fund for the Arts Grant, the final Alfredo Cisnero del Moral Award, and was the fiction finalist for Arrojo's 2013 Gift of Freedom Award. Most recently, Ire'ne was awarded the 2021 Texas Institute of Letters Dirac Award for Best Short Nonfiction. What is she up to these days? Currently, Ire'ne is a writer at large for Texas Highways magazine. Her first comic book, Vendaval, will be released by the Chispa imprint of Scott Comics in July 2024. If you want to know more about Ire'ne Lara Silva, please follow her at www.ireneLaraSilva.wordpress.com. On a personal note, you love a river floored me. Gracias, mi hermana. Con ustedes, Ire'ne Lara Silva.
I just want to say muchísimas gracias to you all for the invitation. And Reina, anything you ever asked me to do, I am there. And what she was saying was true. She sent me the most beautiful rejection letter that I've ever gotten in my life. I think that rejection letter was more beautiful than any acceptance letter I've gotten too. Like, it was the most beautiful letter. I still have it because, yeah, no, that was beautiful. And it was very encouraging and very supportive. And then, I don't know if you remember, but I submitted a story right after that, and that one y'all took in like 18 hours. So I was like, okay, we're good. And I'm always very thrilled to see whenever I see anything with Acentos Review, to see that y'all put me as the, representative writer. Like, that was what a huge dream for so long, looking at different submission calls to see who they were calling their representative writers, and to see me on that list to see myself on that list is amazing. So muchísimas gracias. I was gonna start with one poem, but now I'm gonna start with another one. A ver. A ver. So now I have to do You Love a River to start off with. So I just moved to San Antonio about 6 weeks ago, but I lived in Austin for about 26 years. And Austin has this huge, wide river that's really beautiful. And it's very peaceful and it's very calm. But I wasn't born in the valley, in the Rio Grande Valley, but I spent a lot of my childhood there. And of course, that's the border. That's, the Rio Grande. And I think probably about 20 years into living in Austin, I was crossing one of the freeways or I was crossing the river on a bus. And I was looking at the river the way I do all the time when I was going to work. And this one day I was thinking about how different that river in Austin was from the river from the Rio Grande. And I thought I need to write a poem about this. This is called You Love a River. For 20 years, you love a river. And every time you cross it or sit to stare at it, you imagine your suddenly immense hands brushing over its calm ripples, as if it was fur, as if it was skin, as if it could touch you back, as if it also loved you, as if it had waited for you always. This peaceful, uncontested river, always serene, so different from that other river, the river that has defined your entire life. The river you love is far, but not that far from that other river. That other river sometimes muddy, sometimes dry, sometimes green, sometimes lovely. But you can never think of it without seeing almost 2 centuries of blood shed over it. Can never see it without thinking of the lives, the pain, the hurt, the losses crossing that river has cost. You have always loved rivers. But is it still a river if it has walls? And my poor Rio Grande has just been getting, the walls just go up and the walls are further and the walls are taller every time I see the border. I was actually going to start with another poem because I was telling people I actually am very happy in San Antonio. I can't believe that such a small difference of distance makes my daily life so different. But I'm really happy here. And I don't know, not like a lot of people, when I'm really happy and I'm well rested, the peleonera in me comes out more because I'm well rested and I have energy. And so then I run around with road rage and getting mad at people and wanting to start a fight or whatever else. But yeah, the peleonera in me has never really calms down. And so that's why I was thinking I was going to start with one of my peleonera poems. And this one actually was inspired by, I had about 8 years ago, I moved into a new apartment complex. And my brother, who was still alive then, had extremely limited mobility. It was right before they did an amputation of his right leg. So he really, really limited mobility. And I was gone from home and he calls me because there was somebody who had climbed up to a second floor apartment patio and was trying the door. And it happened not just once, it happened 3 times. And I was afraid to call the cops because my brother was 6'5", brown, tattoos, scars. And I thought, and he can't move. If they tell him to get on the floor, they tell him to do something, like he's gonna get hurt. And so I was very furious and I was calling the apartment complex. I was like, y'all need security, y'all need lights, y'all need this, y'all need that. And I was furious for days. And then I suddenly realized, I'm not just mad about this. And so I wrote this. After the 3rd time, the would-be burglar climbed into my 2nd floor patio and tried the doors. It is night. It is dark here. I am in the shadows where I cannot be seen from the ground, long bladed machete in hand. I am waiting for those hands, those fingers to grasp at the railing as he hoists his weight up and over, then quick. I will collect my due of blood and scream. I am waiting, and as I wait, it comes to me that I am weary of tears, that we are all weary of tears, that my ancestors and my descendants are weeping, and I can hear them weeping, and I can taste their tears. And this is what we have done, and what we have done, and what we have done until we are sick with grieving. What has been taken, what is being taken, and what will be taken. I am weary of tears. I want blood. I want an infinite machete extending all directions in time. No one will touch my children or my ancestors with violence. Their blood will never be spilled, will never have been spilled, will not be spilling. No dying now or then or to come. No violence, no injury, no hurt. No woman, no child, no man, no person forced against their will, no patch of earth or water or sky violated or polluted, never violated in the time to come or the time that has passed. My infinite machete swung by my infinite strength, I will make a 1,000-layered necklace of severed hands to rest on my infinite chest. Let the fingers and limbs pile up in my wake. I am weary of tears. I am weary of grieving. They will not touch what is not theirs. They will not touch what is not theirs. The earth is screaming and singing through me unleashed. I will collect my due of blood and scream. They will not touch what is not theirs. They will not touch what is not theirs. I will take their hands, their fingers, their hearts for wanting, for having wanted what is not theirs, not theirs, not theirs, not theirs, not theirs. These bodies, these histories, these dreams, these families, these lands, these skies, these nations, these people, these freedoms. They are not theirs to take. And I'm going to skip over to actually some brand new poems. I appear to be writing a new book that I'm going to call Hunter/Cazadora. And the title came to me after after a writer that I really admire, Emma Perez, posted a little gif of a panther on some social media thing that I posted. And I was like, how crazy, I've never thought of poetry as a panther, but it fits so perfectly. So I wrote this, Panther, for Emma Perez. I never had this name for myself, not until you sent me that image, and I knew it was true. I have been hunting them. I will always be hunting them. This is my nature. I have been called a poet. I have been called woman. I was born mortal, born defenseless. I named myself hunger while I was still learning loss, learning grief. This is my nature. They flee, they scream, screech, whimper in my grasp. They are warm and wriggling between my jaws because I woke hungry in the night. This is my nature. What am I without heat, without muscle? What am I without hunger? While I am hungry, I am alive. Hunger is the proof that I am not dead yet. This is my nature. How do you think I survived? I was hungrier than the others, not smarter, not stronger, not faster, only more desperate, and I would not give up. This is my nature. I let death run with me. I would not run from it. Better, said death. Death gave me few choices, and I would not run from it, but I would run, and I run. This is my nature. Who names me Hunter knows my nature. And then something else from the new one. The most recent poem I wrote. Because I think this collection is also about bodies. Is the beautiful body ever truly naked? What vulnerability is there in toned thighs and rippling abs? Unblemished skin seems a kind of armor. It must be to have resisted scars and burns and stretch marks and calluses. Everything the camera loves, everything the light loves, everything the eye has been taught to love would make you think no one ever loved and lusted after crooked little toes, would make you think that it was impossible for hands to yearn for the soft yield of flesh that is neither breast nor ass, would make you think that graying hair or wrinkling flesh or dark circled eyes could ever dim the light of the soul shining through, would make you think that it wasn't the greatest measure of a gift to invite touch, to say this, my imperfect body, will meet your imperfect body. And we will say nothing of forgiveness because there is nothing to forgive. I think I've got enough time, Mario, for about 2 more. Yep, okay. I want to close out with 2 more from the most recent collection that I wrote. It's called The Eaters of Flowers. And I actually wrote the entire thing in 2 months after my brother passed. He was 40 years old, and he was my brother. He was also my adopted son, my best friend, my best editor, and we were each other's family. So now that he's gone, that's it. I have no other blood family. Before he passed, we bought 2 plots to be buried in a green cemetery. So it's an old-fashioned way you get buried with no coffin, no concrete, no embalming. They wrap you in a cotton shroud and you get to go into the ground. Lot K32. It's roughly 3 feet by 7 feet. There are no lines to separate one lot from another. Wild grass, wild flowers, a few small stones, spillover of red-brown mulch from the lot next to it. It's quiet here. The traffic is a far-off sound, even though the road isn't far. It's all the trees, mostly oaks, pecans, cottonwoods, cedars. It doesn't seem to matter what time of the year it is. There are always butterflies, birds darting from place to place, green leaves on the trees, and golden leaves fluttering down. My brother is buried in lot K31. We bought both plots at the same time. I didn't know his would be vacant for such a very short time. I wonder if he knew different, wondered if he held on to make sure I had a signed contract in hand. He was buried the way he wanted, on a wooden pallet, wrapped in a cotton shroud, surrounded with flowers from head to foot, a bouquet laid over his chest, no coffin, no concrete, no embalming, no separation from the earth. Before the year is out, it'll be 5 months since he was buried. I don't think it's my imagination, but the burial mound seems to be as high as it ever was. The only thing that's different is the permanent flat stone that bears his name and the dates of his life and my name for him. When I visit, I take a little step ladder to sit on. I unfold it over lot K32 because it seems disrespectful to sit elsewhere and possibly intrude on someone else's grave. At least here, I know it's vacant. And I hope to leave it vacant for at least another 3 decades, letting the leaves flutter down and the wild grass grow. I took care of him for all but 7 years of his life. In the afterlife, there will be no need to look after each other. His spirit in the unfurling of all green things and the dew is free of all pain and memory. And mine will return to the wind as free as it ever dreamed of being. But here, beneath this earth, we will never leave each other. We will be siblings of the soil. And I want to close with this last poem because a lot of this book is about my grief. A lot of it is about trying to decide what I was going to do going forward with life. I knew for a long time I was going to lose him. I just didn't know if it was going to be a year or 5 or 10 or 20. And so when everything started going, it went really fast. And like I said, there was no planning time, no visioning time. So last poem, like I said, this poem is purely for him. I know they mean well when they say my brother is still with me, but I hope he isn't. In his last days, he was forgetting where he was and my name and his own name. He was forgetting all of it, and he knew only enough to trust my voice and my hand holding his hand, and that he wasn't alone, and that I would take care of anything he needed. I hope he's walked on to the next world without any memory of this one. Hope he's forgotten all the pain, all the anger. I hope he's forgotten his childhood and my father. forgotten bullies and homophobes, forgotten bruises and broken hearts, forgotten despair and hurt. I hope he's forgotten doctors and painkillers and surgeries and hospitals and wounds and pain. Oh, I hope he's forgotten pain. Even if it means he's forgotten me, even if our difficult years and our beautiful years live only in my heart, even if he doesn't remember all our adventures, all our tears, all our laughter, even if he doesn't remember our years of colors and words and music and flowers, because even when he didn't know my name, he still smiled at me and looked so kindly upon me, and I couldn't have prayed for anything more at his peaceful moment of passing. I hope he remembers nothing, even if it means I send all this love that still lives in me out in no particular direction. In the first rain afterwards, I saw him in the white rain lilies sprouting roadside, saw him in the greening of the revived blades of grass, saw him when the leaves started to change color, and I saw him when the crimson crowns of thorns started blooming. May his spirit be racing in delight from one streak of lightning to another. May it be curled in comfort in the petals of roses and peonies. May it be watching in wide-eyed delight as the dew forms each morning. May his spirit be drifting in the soft clouds overhead. May it be visiting the snow-covered chollas blooming a soft yellow. May his spirit be running with the howling of the coyotes I heard tonight and last night and the night before. Mil gracias.
No, mi hermana. Gracias a usted. I, for you guys that don't know, I have a nickname within community, and it's called Smush. Because I'm over here just literally like falling apart I'm holding on to every word you're saying. Thank you for being extremely vulnerable with us. Thank you for sharing those poems about familia, about your brother. May he rest in peace. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for your beautiful words. Sigue el bonito trabajo que está haciendo, hermana. Es un orgullo tenerla en comunidad. And from a brother who has a sister in the room, tienes un hermano, tienes comunidad aquí. Thank you for the invitation, because I want to go check out those churros to liven it up a little bit.
Just watch the affirmation video.
Trust
Oh,
me,
wow.
one day me and Rich and Familia would be like, hey, are we going to San Antonio? Yeah, let's set up ire'ne. Let's go check out that churros place.
Thank you so much. I might be new here, but están en su casa. Y'all come when you want to.
Gracias, mi hermana. So Isa and I agree that we're going to take like a 3-minute break, just so that, you know, us people over 40 could run in and go get a drink or, you know, use the restroom real quick. So just take 3 minutes and we'll be back. On deck is an amazing poet and visual artist, Kyoko. So just take 3 minutes and we'll be right back.
I feel like we should run a commercial here, don't you think? Like we should have thought this through. Maybe have like a
Can you come up with one right off the bat?
Itere driving school, right?
There you go.
That was on the podcast.
Right off the
If
top.
Steve-Bird was here, he could do it, right?
If you know the Titere poets, you know we are all about marketing and branding. So
Didn't you have a commercial
for Titere driving school?
Didn't you have like a mechanic one though?
We did. We had a lot of them actually, but we're supposed to be in a break right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and shut up, and we'll be back. We'll be back in 2 minutes with the second half.
Mira, charlatán, usted llegó tarde. Usted no puede decir nada.
No, what did you think? What did you think this was? This is not the freaking Academy of American Poets. This is Esquina, and now it's recorded. So whatever.
I'll just say a quick note to everyone during our lovely break. If you are interested in reading, please sign the sign-up sheet. It is in the chat, and I'll post it one more time for everyone. Thank you so much.
Little musical break for you. Okay. Now I'm shutting up.
What up, Reb? ¿Cómo está?
Todo bien, mi hermano.
We're supposed to be on break. Y'all talking anyway. That's funny. It's all right. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay.
I thought the break meant we was taking a break from poetry, not just shooting the shit, but okay.
I can't take you nowhere.
You want to know why?
The títere you are trying to reach is not available. Please try your call again later.
It's because we in the building.
Your call is not very important to me. So please hold while we just hold. Just freaking hold on.
Sponsored by Captain Morgan Rum Punch.
Just we'll definitely be cutting most of this break out in repost. Pero it's been 3 minutes. Audio, please come back and we'll finish up with the second half of the open mic.
Attention poets, the open mic is about to begin. Attention poets, the open mic is about to begin. Please return your tray tables to their full upright and locked positions, and we will begin the open mic in 30 seconds.
Zángano.
Hasta adentro.
Is my mother here? I heard the word zángano.
That's my favorite word.
Oh, Millie's here. Yeah, I got you.
I love that word.
Right, yep. Eso soy yo, soy zángano.
You gotta say it. Lo tienes que decir con ganas.
Eso hay que decirlo.
Mira, zángano.
Lo que es verdad. What you want. Lo que es lindo es lindo.
Okay, familia. So, first of all, I forgot to mention, welcome Anthony Rivera, who is the original títere poet.
Yeah, no shit. He's the prototype.
He is the founding
When
member.
they made him, they broke the mold, and then they broke the guy who made the mold.
Yeah, he is the founding member of this collective.
Actually, what I have been told was that when God made me, he didn't break the mold. He got rid of it.
God, that's a fact. And also, saludos at Jesse Diaz for joining us. If either of you would like to read, the sign-in sheet is in the chat. If not, that's fine. Thank you for coming. Con eso, I would like to invite the next poet to the mic. She is an amazing representative of Staten Island. She's an amazing poet and an amazing visual artist. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce the last name because me da vergüenza, but I know her as Kyoko.
Hey. Okay, so this piece is a news piece, and I should start by pronouncing my name for you. It's Kyoko Hishimu. That should hopefully help. So this is a new piece that I'm still kind of fixing up, but it's called Silence is Not an Option. There is no quiet in the silence, no peace in sleep. Feel the vibrations in my breathing. I've not met you, but I know how souls can reach beyond. Beats the rhythm of a nation. Children's pleas, running away from the unknown, falling to the floor. The song of my heart in tune with my lungs, as anxiety sets in, competing with the wheeze of inhales, the noise of tempo whose sound repeats, the buzzing praying through ears, forced tinnitus. Every movement of our body is a cord outstretched to the universe, nudging each of us to speak to our counterparts on this earth. We are in unity with thee. Silence is not an option. Cannot forget the noise of crying over martyrs and how each of us felt as we watched them weep. When we are years from the tears from today and shed the bullets from their land, will we rejoice in their celebration? Will we be able to stand proudly and say we spoke up? Convince ourselves we did enough? Say our actions were as loud as our protests, that the consequences didn't deafen our movements, that we spoke proud. The tap of our feet against pavement, dug into dirt, in the crash of water against toes. We create music, a culture full of rich unity and pride. They are the most enriching people. Teach us what unconditional love is for each other. Their turmoil kept hidden inside a single strip of land, dried salt stuck to their cheeks, blood tracks sliding down their garment. I can hear you. I will not be silent. Our bodies shifting to the roots of brainwaves merging from the outcry of white clouds as it rains, burning, punished as a collective soul, a sea of men, women, and children. Our bodies salt-filled. Sorry. They watch us drown just the same, breathe from the same air. My blood thick, ink names drawn that cease to be permanent as tattoo. Tracing Mother Earth to the complexities of my ancestors, who sing to me while asleep. Friends wired by the algorithm of rivers and rivers and oceans, crossing, the pain of mothers reaching across waters, entering the confines of the walls of my ribcage. Strip me of song I call humanity, berries below the soil, kept replenished from the rain, chanting, exploding with the crackle of 1,000 fireworks. The water is not clean, delivers brown out of the pipe into the palms of the homemaker. Her family cries piercing to quench their thirst. Your silence is not resilience, not sustainable. So do not be silent. How can there be silence? When the tree falls, it still makes the same crashing sound even when no one is there to bear witness. So listen, bear witness, and hold accountable. We are one. Let the noise of anguish resound like music so it travels miles, so it demands change, helps to save, gives the climate the grace to let it resist the heavy demands of the damned. Be one with the earth, strong, playing tunes through our blood, shed tears, to shout our prayers for humanity, remember loved ones' laughter as it echoes in our ears, an eternity stored in our memories, dance with the remains of conversations still stagnant in our minds. Never forget that you once laid loud marks on the pavement, indented your presence with your song that reaches out to the night, to unify, overshadow the wails beneath the rubble. There is no quiet. Words holding the empty space to hold their legacy. Journalists bleeding to keep the noise projected out to the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sister. And so very nice to see you. Thank you for your words. Wow. A veces, you know, I'm someone reads a poem and I'm just speechless. I really don't know what to say. Thank you so much. With that, the next poet to the mic. She's sitting across from me, Audrey Bustos Diaz, Audrey Funk.
Hola. Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm Audrey Funk, but I'm Mexican, born and raised. So my poems are in Spanish. I hope you know Spanish. And if you don't know Spanish, learn Spanish because it's nice.
Otra palabra, no sé, pero, you know, vamos a...
Pero deberían. It's a really nice thing. Bueno, eso. This is the first time I read this y pues vamos a echar. Dice, aquí nadie es humano. Mi hábitat moreno, como melanina tengo, plasmada en la cara a raíz de mis ancestros. En territorio ocupado dicen que me encuentro, pero es la catarsis de los despojados, los que tienen hambre, frío y miedo. Asfalto, explotación y silencio en esta ciudad ruidosa que no escucho pensamiento. Ciudad de hierro, fierro, hielo, gris oscuro, verde espontáneo, luces de día, noche temprana, los 6 meses del año, calor sofocante que se acentuó con el cemento, grandes gigantes de cristal que tocan el cielo, sueños rotos perdidos en el fentanilo, sueños grandes que guían la bolsa de valores capitalistas. Las cosas no son como las ves en las películas. Bueno. Las ratas son reales, las de las calles, las de la vida, pizza, coquito, piraguas, salsa y bachata frente a los proyectos. Es que aquí vivimos unos encima de otros y solo el calor nos invita a salir de nuestras madrigueras. El ron, dembow, reggaetón, drill, trap, ya no es tan hip hop. Reggae, soca, cumbio, danzón, depende del barrio, K-pop o Bollywood. Humedad, esto es costa, el fin de todo. Rentas ridículas por espacios ridículos, landlores sin escrúpulos, homeless sin múltiplos. Las cosas son muy rápidas. Aquí nadie es humano, somos puras máquinas. Dignidad no tengo, mi casa es fuego, quema dentro, ser ilegal sin serlo. Gracias. Y la segunda, the second one, es uno que me gusta mucho y siempre me gusta decirlo cuando tengo oportunidad. Y se llama Incómoda. Em, ¿Sí? ¿Cómo se traduciría? Como uncomfortable. Bueno, yo soy la que incomoda, ¿verdad? Incómoda. Me incomoda estar entre blancos. Me incomodan sus privilegios, sus modos, formas, condescendencias, sus miradas de lástima, de ternura, de espanto, de asombro. Me incomoda estar entre blancos, que me sexualizan, exotizan, me ven como el oro que robaron sus ancestros, sus ganas de salvarme, de quién sabe qué miseria de que me inventan, de sus explicaciones, de sus ganas de quitarme lo salvaje. Me incomoda estar entre blancos, que se dicen aliados, pero que se ofenden cuando les pongo en la cara sus privilegios, cuando tengo que arrebatarles la palabra, cuando me hacen extractivismo epistémico, cultural, vivencial, sexual y se victimizan, apelando a una conciencia histórica que mucho leen, mucho teorizan, pero poco aplican. Me siento incómoda entre blancos, que piensan que existe el racismo a la inversa y que en estas letras lo encuentran, que no se hacen conscientes de la blanquitud y que esta es una enfermedad mental y que deberían de atenderse, que pretenden que entienda sus lágrimas de colonizadoras reintegrados a esta sociedad de melanina, que supliquen por no ser juzgados, pero su token soy yo y cualquier priete que esté a su lado. Me incomoda estar entre blancos, que no habían visto mi punto de vista. Ay, pero claro que no habían visto mi punto de vista, si la única mirada del mundo que tienen es la de su mundo, en ese donde la utopía es posible porque nos arrebataron todo, ese mundo donde pueden salir seguros y no morir en cualquier día, donde todos se dicen buenos días y tienen llena la cartera. Oye, pero mija, también hay blancos pobres. Claro que los hay, pero en este mundo les costaría menos dejar de serlos, se les cuestionaría menos sus modos y formas, sus caminos y sus luchas, y con una lágrima todos nos sentiríamos conmovidos por la grande y bella superación blanca. Pero yo vengo de un lugar donde incomodo, donde mi propio ser lleno de colores les opaca, no solo mi piel morena y brillante, sino también mi voz fuerte, mi risa escandalosa, mi pasión desbordada, mi gusto por tocar a la gente, mi rítmica cadera, mi boca que no se calla y mi energía reina que llega a cualquier cuarto con la fuerza de mi linaje. Vengo de un lugar donde incomodo y prefiero una y mil veces ser la que incomoda desde la autenticidad de su ser oprimido a ser históricamente quien incomoda por falta de invitación a una fiesta donde nadie quería que llegara. Me incomoda estar entre blancos. Thank you.
I remember that's my boo, by the way. I remember she read this at the poetry festival for the first time, surrounded by white people, and we were like, "Yeah, that's what we do." Follow Audrey in Spotify. She's very humble, like most of us are when the spotlight is shined on us. She is the international feminist rapera from Puebla, Mexico. Follow her, Audrey Funk, on Spotify and all social media. Again, she's very humble. Every time I become a PR person, she's like, stop, please, stop, please. But check her out. Her music is amazing. Okay, so next poet to the mic. Se me perdió. Next poet to the mic. When Rich Villar gets excited about a poet being in the space, like I'm like, okay, what's I've probably heard of this sister. I've probably heard her read somewhere else, but I don't recall because when you become my age, you start forgetting stuff, and ADHD is a real thing. So con nosotros, Carla Santanas Morales. Yes, she's also related to me. Side Boogie. I'm claiming all the Morales.
So many Moraleses, so little time.
We're attractive people. We get around. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, wow. Vamos a hablar.
Right. So first and foremost, I just want to say thank you so much for having me and letting me be involved in this. I'm truly honored to be in this company. This is, whew. So anyways, I have my two. This first one is called Doña Cuca. Castle Hill Ave is a bitch on Sunday morning. People who smile at passersby are usually in church by then. And from 9 a.m. till about 3 in the afternoon, those left in the streets, they just stare. It's impossible not to notice the tangible shift in the air. Faces cool and froze over, drawn gray, like they were old tattered pictures of themselves. Doña Cuca was the exception. She owned the only available smile on the block while church was in session, the neighborhood santera. Ella es una bruja, my father would say, but Doña Cuca was always nice to me. More Glenda than Eveline, I don't think I ever saw her offering anyone a suspicious-looking apple in my life. And unless plátano can render you unconscious while marinated in brutal honesty, I was pretty sure she was harmless. The cute little old lady in the white dress. For $40, she'd read your cards, and for $50, she'd throw the caracol, all flaming rollers and cracked bottles of palo viejo. Arroz con habichuelas y no jodas. Her sense of humor was mojo-soaked razor blades bacheteando with your ego, hanging out her window like some kind of barrio newscaster. You wanted gossip? She had you covered. Talking, laughing, asking for her advice on everything from men to how to cook the perfect pot of rice. Neighborhood women adorned her stoop all summer. And for a woman who never let anyone into her apartment, I was amazed how she always knew who did what to who and for how much, the real reason the tenants in 3J wouldn't answer the door, or how you could use an egg together with sea salt and a picture of your dead grandfather to stop arguments between invisible roommates, keys misplacing themselves over and over again, and doors slamming around your house in the middle of the night. Doña Cuca could speak to your ancestors. She always kept her window closed when she felt death coming to someone new. A shut glass pane on the first floor of my building before sundown sent shivers through the block. She said it felt like the vibrations on the train platform just before the 6 pulled up. She lit colored candles for different fortunes on her windowsill. a rainbow of possibilities, lighted prayers splayed out for the santos to dance in. The saints have heavier footsteps after dark. When I listened closely enough, I could hear them on my ceiling, dancing with Kuka. She danced for the souls who would soon join them. She danced for those they had left behind, for the people on the block who would finally get invited into her house after they passed over, for her old friends turned guests of honor. That's fun. And then I have one here. This one is called 100 by 35. I'm from rainforest green, cool breeze through palm tree. I'm from that 100 by 35, those triple dynasty lines. I'm from my father's smile like Cagua's sunrise. I'm from my mother's wisdom and Titi's laugh. I'm from my abuelo's pride y abuela's arroz con gandules. I'm from every brand of cereal se llama cornflake and deep fried everything. I'm from Genepa carts, piragua stands, and cups of pitorro passed around as freely as consejos. I'm from Plena, from Bomba. I'm from baby showers turned salsa block parties. I'm from Huepa, dale. I'm from mamis tan brutal y papis bien acicalao. I'm from no pare, sigue, sigue. Like the party don't stop till we say so. I'm from Capicú, slapping down on hard table like cocotazos upside hard head. I'm from Sana Sana Colita de Rana and alcoholado drenched skin under thin sheets. I'm from Vicks Vaporú y Sancocho cures almost all childhood ailments. Like Vicks Vaporú y Sancocho cures almost all adult ailments. I'm from Chancleteras y la sombra de la baba. Like plantain and sugarcane fields. I'm from deep knowledge, like flamboyant roots. I'm from timeless beauty, from a regality that tyranny and oppression cannot hide. I'm from salt of the earth heroes, from freedom fighters and patriots, from bohemian memory, Spanish gold lust and African treasury. I am from Jíbaro legacy. I'm from Echa Palante, but never lose your humility. I'm from clapping when the plane touches down. Like, thank God I'm home. Like, every step is celebration. Like, por donde quiera que ande, oh, porque lo llevo en la sangre, por herencia de mis padres. Y con orgullo repito, yo te quiero. Thanks, you guys.
The Rich almost fell off, by the way.
I almost fell off my chair. Like I'm literally
Over
sitting
the
on the
chair.
edge of my chair.
Another thing.
I didn't know you sang too, coño. Like
Wow.
you over here like triple threat and shit. I had no idea.
Yeah, man.
¿Cuántos años te conozco y nunca? I didn't know.
Wow. Also, any poet that quotes Evil Lynn in their poetry, yeah. If you're quoting He-Man in your poetry,
fuck He-Man. No, Evil Lynn.
Evil Lynn. I'm just saying, you're throwing Masters of the Universe in your poetry.
That's it.
Fantastic, fantastic. Gracias, mi hermana. Un placer, un placer. Okay, with that in mind, our next poet is one of my first mentors, actually. Vanessa Acevedo, aka Nessa.
Buenas noches. It feels really good. Excuse me. It feels really good to be in this room with all of you. It does. Well, I think I know what I'm going to start with, and I think I know what I'm going to end with. Someone asked me to write about work. The desk is in disorder. But really, don't take that as a statement on my life, even though it could be. Piles abound, threatening to tip over the edge, but I keep adjusting and adjusting, and the burden gets heavy, but I keep adjusting and adjusting until I have no choice but to clear it out before it threatens the rest of the room, a splayed out display of all the things I am afraid to touch. The desk is in disorder. To the scrutinizing eye, paper piled up like she can't keep it together. She can build it up, but she can't take it. She can offer it, but it won't do you much good. Okay. There's a desk, a container, a displayer of managed or mismanaged priorities. It is dusty with the delay of dutiful and deliberate and diligent, excuse me. It's clearly struggling to keep up with its owner, despite the useful groupings of tools and piles of paperwork and Excel sheets for data entry, and her elbows called upon to prop and cradle a somewhat defeated face. The desk is in disorder. Sometimes life is like that, but I'm going to start somewhere. Anywhere. I get to do that today. That was the first new thing I wrote in like 5 or 6 years. So I kind of treasure it. Here's an old thing I wrote more than 5 or 6 years ago. The Nuyorican Angel of Compassion. You just wanted to be close to him. That moment of the incorporeal, when the heat and the chaos rise together, that flow of, I get it. The universe gets it. It has a place. You have a place. It's okay to be here, to be heard, to be had. I saw you. Needing, wanting, giving in. You risked so much, unprotectedly passionate, reckless, abandon. You just wanted so much to be close to him. I heard you, crying, kicking, insulting, embarrassed, self-hatred afterwards. Private resentment made you seem asshole, really hit shame. You felt vulnerable. You wanted to protect your name. It wasn't okay. You fall, trip, jump into well-known holes of darkness, well-worn paths to self-destruction. It's necessary to hold you responsible. It's okay to hold your heart in the process. You carry around open wounds, sopping up blood with spongy vulnerability, cauterizing arteries with hot steel wire self-defense mechanisms. I am here. No, not in your pain, in your truth. Your logic, misguided as it may be, in the order of your events, in the beliefs that created the rules of engagement about actions, expressions, expectations, leaving your psyche with a rudder stiffened by anger. I witnessed the moments you were taught your love was idiocy, your pain pathetic, your real a liability to yourself. I watched you that day you sat in the room, quiet, silent, simmering, helpless, sallow. I watched you later leave colorful, loved, but still scared that those you meet out there would fall into the pit of your depression and sue you for damages. Together we can fix it. I'll show you that you were never broken. You'll show me what you can do with a whole person. Thank you.
Gracias, mi hermana. I could attest that poem is more than 5 years old. I
think the date's on here. It's from 2016, for April 4th, 2016.
Oh, wow. For some reason, I feel like we've known each other longer than that. I was in the workshop where that prompt was given. I know because I never wrote it because I couldn't wrap my head around it. But thank you so much, sis. I greatly appreciate you. Next forward to the mic. I think she just released the book, if I'm not mistaken. Con ustedes, Jessica Diaz.
Can you guys hear me? Okay. I don't know why I'm feeling mad nervous right now. I haven't done a Zoom open mic in a long time. I'm having a pandemic flashback right now. Thank you for allowing me the space. Yeah, Mario, you're right. I just released my book. So I'm going to share two pieces from my book, Óyeme. One of them I'm definitely going to say is about my mom, or inspired heavily by my mom, because the Kuka reference, my mom's nickname was Kuka. So yeah, I'm going to pay a little tribute to mom. This one, first one is called Taste of Native Tongues. If I had no tongue, I'd learn to taste this life with my feet, toes licking concrete, cada dedo relambiéndose porque le gustan los dulces duros. Each paso sopping up the buttermilk beats of these streets, because we all's about a good biscuit, you heard? Can you smell that? That's my hood's gumbo stewing, brewing, hecho en los calderos de nuestras abuelas y bisabuelas, bubbling up la salsa, soul, hip hop y cumbias that rumble through sound systems. En vain. Every Saturday morning, cuando la gente se ponen a mover las caderas y sus escobas, ese asopao calentándose, waiting patiently to be devoured by its natives. Bellies attentive, vibing with the aroma, because we ain't never been scared to seek out what's rightfully meant for us to eat. Ingest and digest this stew pot of mixed ingredients, where herbs, spices, and condiments are married with grit, guttural passion, and killer instincts. An urban sofrito of sorts que siempre se deja comer. And even if I had no tongue to taste it, no importa, because flavor this strong goes beyond the tongue's pitted surface. Nuestro sabor is rooted in bone, skeletal, como ese hueso de vaca entre ese mismo asopao. Feeding my souls through my soul as I walk through these Bronx streets, taking big bites from the culture that willingly and lovingly serves it up to its peoples on the daily. Brick walls serving us silver platters, offering its residents delectable delicacies, carved and seasoned and displayed in the most diverse arrays of shapes, colors, and bubbled letters, welcoming all to servirse un plato, chewing on graph like starbursts. I stay tasting the rainbow and the sights and sounds of this often tragically misunderstood place. Champion burrowed in equal parts of amargura y dulzura at times, pero todo bien cool, because there's beauty in that too. And that's why they got to put respect on our name with the, because ain't no place like it. Ain't no place like home. So I chew slowly on each mouthful, swallow all of its marred ego and charm. Gulp, belly stays full. And if I can, I will share one more piece, which I will say was un aviso for conversation. Don't be like me, girl. Don't be like me, girl. Living in the pangs of past promises unkept, your heart has been exercised and exorcised for this moment. Chambers built to sustain the remains of memories that deserve permanent residence, crafted to run, just like those fresh Nikes you got on. Keep it pushing. Run those treads. Do it. Hágalo y ya. Don't be like me, girl. Procrastinating, waiting on time to give it time to have time, as if time will ever really let you touch it. That body you got, be the clock. Grandfathered in to chime with purpose. Beckon to toll and tell the story, my story, our story. Face to hold the epic journey of the family and continue to carry on. Use those supple, ample arms of yours to embrace your ticks. Embrace your ticks. The tick, tick, tick as these ferocious feathery fingertips dance across this illuminated keyboard. Yup, I said it. I'ma make it big. No hankies to help them dry their tears, their fears of you. No need for you to read their body language of guilt. Shower blank canvases. Trace your lineage across the lines of your composition page and across any and every platform imaginable. Make them be ready. Don't be like me, girl. Don't accept their predetermined labels. Recuérdate que quien manda aquí eres tú. So que te llamen nueva, brand new with it. Rica with the sabores del Bronx y el Borinquen. Invite them sideline hating spectators to this digital cipher. Let them run face first into this magic. Keep serving up that food to feed the future, like soil drinking in tears and sweat and birth it and unearthing gold mines. You are bloomed in purpose. Don't be like me, girl. Fear and flight, new heights in line of sight. Too much cause eruptions of assumptions that soon yield to inner consumption of need to fly. Please ignore that fear of fumbling, that rumbling. It's actually your inner engine gearing to propel this work. Hit the tarmac, no turn back, flying virgin, but you learning no te preocupes, nena. There's always gotta be a first. Don't be like me, girl. Brimmed, buttoned up, thinking that speaking up will actually yield further disregard, masking that intended yell into a rather pointed stare instead. Yeah, I feel you. Those stairs serve their purpose, but the sonic booms required in white rooms needed all muchachita, mind, eyes, voice, pen, sharp, quick, firm, and felt stoic fluidity. Be that eruption of galactic ash that burns their corneas. Be that black hole sunshine. Don't be like me, girl. Letting insecurity stand in the threshold of your kitchen, trying to convince you that this potluck ain't for you. How many times do you need to be reminded to feast on this life? You are anchored, rooted, all tree, no fragile branch, being nourished from the ancestors' blood, sweat, tears, y sonrisas, y movimientos, y sueños. Chakras opened and aligned, wheeling you into your birthright. Sunlight runs through your veins, pulsating ripe sweetness, como los plátanos y los mangos de nuestras tierras, nuestras cenas, grown to be served, perfectly sliced and lovingly laid upon the people's plate. We've been waiting far too long to eat. Serve us, please, because you're really the only one who can. Thank you.
Jessica, what's the name of your book again?
Óyeme?
Oh, somebody has it. Oh, it's blurry, Rich.
Yeah, you're in the
It's
Smoky
blurry,
Lounge.
Rich. Oh, there you go. Oh,
There
wow.
you go. Okay.
That's nice. But share your link. See where we can get your book. That's
So
beautiful.
thank you. You can follow me on IG at Jane Boogie Poetry. And on there is my link to purchase the book directly, but it's also available on like Amazon and other book selling platforms. So the goodness is out there.
Gotcha.
But I'll also put it in
That's beautiful. Oh, wow. I like the cover. I have to go pick that up. Okay. So we have two poets left on the open mic. Next poet to the mic is without her we couldn't we can't run this virtual open mic con ustedes. Ella se ríe porque ella sabe que es la verdad. Isa Anastasia Rivas.
Thank you so much, brother. I just want to start off by saying this has been a wonderful night of poetry. It is so beautiful to see all of you here and to hear all of you reading. Amazing feature, amazing everything. And I am excited for more reading coming out of La Esquina. There will be some news at the very end that everyone will hear about our live show. Without delaying, I'm going to recite my poem. I'm only reading one poem. It is, I guess I'll do a content warning. I know we said we'd give that out if we felt like we needed it. This poem uses some of the headlines that I have been reading over the past week coming out of the tragedy that's occurring in Gaza. So just keep that in mind. This poem's also coming out of or inspired by not Pablo Neruda. Well, maybe it is Neruda. I want to explain a few things. I know I've probably butchered all of that, but somebody correct me later. The title of the poem is Quiero explicar algo. Deseo escribir de violetas, of lilacs, of green carnations, of the somniloquy of lavender, of the pigeon's night lost in your eyes, of the bird of paradise materializing against tarnished dreams, of falling in love with love in an Airbnb, of the metaphysics of waking up in the morning to the northern cardinal, to the morning dove. Pero la noticia es la que es. There are ruins and ghosts all stuck in our phones, in a song that has been on conscious repeat for decades, por cientos de años. A song of bombs and bullets, a song of children's blood like children's blood, a song that tells us nosotros no tenemos casa, cuando eso es lo único por lo que nos definimos. There is nothing to own, but so much to inherit. La guanin de la ancestres y huesos de manatí, the chains at the bottom of the Atlantic alongside fiber optic cables, the rusted guns y espadas covered in sangre de drago, the screams of fire that overrun Sudanese villages, the coltan dust stuck in the lungs of Congolese children, the crying sunset of Palestinian mothers holding their bundled loss. Y estoy cansada de sentir mi cuerpo como una tumba, como un dying. Quiero sentirme segura. Safety only love can provide. Yo quiero el tumbao de love. Love without arbitrarily cutting the numbers of our dead in half. Love without descriptors like conflict or war or devastation. Love without bulldozers that bury ancient olive trees or tanks that siege hospitals. Love without famine. Why must anyone go hungry? Love without the strategic impasse of hate. Love without settlements or occupations. Love without the cost of freedom because one is nothing without the other. Yo quiero el tumbao de love, as in walking a newly cultivated food forest and watching it bear fruit, as in wandering bajo un cielo estrellado para besar la noche sin miedo, as in organizando fiestas del barrio worldwide, celebrando comunidad y patria, as in looking in a mirror and actually seeing yourself, as in quiero solarte as you create me against your thighs, oceanic Yamaya, as in more than imagining un futuro, sino vivirlo, as in deseo escribir una poema where everyone survives, y everyone survives. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Isa. Rich?
That would be me. Weren't you gonna do your thing and then I was doing my thing?
Okay, so
read your poem.
So next poem
There
to
you
the
go.
mic.
Right. Now we good.
Next poem to the mic. Es su servidor. I want to take the opportunity to say thank you to everybody for joining us. I've been writing a lot. I haven't been performing as much as I've wanted to. I just took a break and I wanted to just fall back and rest and take care of myself. But I've been writing a lot. There's been a lot of changes in my life in the last year and a half. So I wrote this and I wrote it after listening to Gilberto Santa Rosa's Soledad. So it goes like this, maybe. when I was with her, maybe I called your name, whispered you to the ends of stardust, prayed to ancestors, craved your endless healing, your gentle touch, calling you all the intimate endearment I hold for you in secret. Negrita, nights don't go by where my hands don't phantom map every nook and cranny, birthmark, scar, dimples, stretch marks, and varicose veins. My fingerprints know their names. Beautiful is such a vulgar word. Divine, my mind has crafted whole conversations, rewind past and futuro, whole lifetimes, falling in love with the big bang of your conception, with sinew and bone, the white of your eyes, the crinkle of your nose, that half mischievous smile when you're up to no good. I'm hoping I will be the recipient of cualquier poca vergüenza you're up to. In darkness, my loneliness has called your heart to me, made me feel king, unstoppable. I imagine all the things you have said to me without saying a single word, and you are nasty, and I want everything you have to give. Muchas gracias. Rich is taking over. I'm blushing right now, so I usually don't write stuff like that.
Pues ya tú sabes, everyone, I want you, if you could please to give a round of applause or, or whatever it is we do on Zoom to our intrepid host, Mario Jose Pagan Morales, because he does a better job than he gives himself credit for. And I want also to say thank you again to Reina Leon and the Acentos Review, and to Ire'ne Lara Silva, the Poet Laureate of Texas, because that's a big-ass job for a big-ass state. And let me tell you, those are some amazing poems and an amazing poet to carry the torch for Texas. Ire'ne, like your state is can be a little bit ass backwards sometimes, right? You got some, conservative people, pero you shine a big light in that particular darkness, and we hope that somebody's listening in the great state of Texas. I know that we are. I am dropping in the chat a link to our next La Esquina events, and the big announcement that we had was that we are returning live to La Casa de los Pueblos in the South Bronx. It is right next to the 25 train at East 146th Street. Casa de los Pueblos is a nonprofit organization that has stood in the neighborhood for a number of years now, which is servicing the indigenous population of New York City. And in that space, we have brought La Esquina as a way to think about uniting these different communities in the South Bronx in this amazing space, which was a current/former furniture factory. There's a lot of stories in this space itself, and the whole place is dedicated to this idea of indigeneity and indigenous resistance. And we are very, very honored to be bringing this show to a live audience again on Friday, May 31st. Doors open at 7 p.m., 8 p.m. start time. The cover charge is $5, and no one is turned away at the door. Your featured poets for the evening will be Isa Anastasia Rivas, who you heard this evening, and Alan Pelayas Lopez, who is coming to us remotely. And we're going to have a big old screen up on this amazing venue and hear from Alan from wherever they are located at the moment. And we'll be hearing from Isa live. And of course, we'll be having the open mic list, the open mic, strong as we always do. Ya tú sabes. We're very excited to be in this particular space, and there will be more events, more opportunities to collaborate coming through to this space, and more things that are happening for La Cocina and the Títere Poets. La Cocina is an interactive space, right? We have done podcasts, we've done workshops, we've done we've done the live show La Esquina, and there will be more of these projects coming at our new home, baby. So ya tú sabes. The flyer will be posted shortly. The event is in the chat, and it is on Facebook. Please share it far and wide. We would love to test the limits of the capacity in this particular venue. So spread the word far and wide, because Alan and Isa kick all kinds of ass. And so does our open mic, and so does this community. So I think I'm done talking now. I appreciate y'all.
Vaya.
Vaya.
Así que muchas gracias de nuevo. I'm
And
super
it's
excited.
sponsored by the Acentos Review.
Yep.
That's correct, baby.
Exactly.
Because the partnership continues. And we ain't done for May, baby. We ain't done for May. May is continuing. May is continuing. That's right.
Muchas gracias to the Center Review. Muchas gracias to Irene. We're gonna go see you, sis. I'm still thinking of ese postre. Así que muy buenas noches. Isa, I love you. Thank you for holding us down. Nos vemos. Los quiero. Ashe.
There is an error on the event. It does not start at 8 a.m. It starts at 8 p.m. We're not starting at 8 in the morning. Motherfuckers got to work.